You know, like Jack deal there with a cowboy.
It's not a red cup, buddy. Don't kick off for me. It's not a red cup. Good. So let me give this a minute, and then we can go to the song and show people tune in. One person.
Whoa, 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 whoa. 'Cause when your black hair is a big threat, never seen nothing like this yet. Such a pretty brown skin when you see my melanin, you better show some respect. They can't contain me no, so they wanna come change me no. This a mental slavery, minimal bravery, me not see the fix yet. So no, 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 I won't lower my standards. So watch me fight for what's mine, who I am proud of. Whoa, whoa. You won't be taking what's mine, I don't play by my culture. Whoa. Out of many, one people all the same. Same color, blood flow through within. The strongest survive the human race. Only love will last along the way. Tell your children black is beautiful. To be alive is a whole lot of privilege. Education is the key to rule the world. You don't need to be white to be a pretty girl. Tell your children black is beautiful. How we now go beg for no privilege. Knowledge is the ruler of the world. You don't need to be white to be a pretty girl. When your black hair is a big threat, never seen nothing like this yet. Such a pretty brown skin when you see my melanin, you better show some respect. They can't contain me no, so they wanna come change me no. It's a mental slavery, minimal bravery, me not see the fix yet. So no, 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 I won't lower my standards. So watch me fight for what's mine, who I am proud of. Ooh, whoa. You won't be taking what's mine, I don't play by my culture. Yeah. Tell your children black is beautiful. To be alive is a whole lot of privilege. Education is the key to rule the world. You don't need to be white to be a pretty girl. Tell your children black is beautiful. And we now go beg for no privilege. Knowledge is the ruler of the world. You don't need to be white to be a pretty girl. Black is beautiful.
Well, this song is so beautiful. This song is so beautiful. We have to play it again this evening. Mayor of Linden, Sharma Solomon, will be joining us to talk about Linden Town Week 2025 and other issues affecting the Linden Municipality and the town of Linden. But basically, we are talking extensively about Linden Town Week 2025 and what we expect of its success. Of course, the theme here is Black is Beautiful. Black is Beautiful. On my right, as you can see, that's my son and my daughter. The Browns. Black is beautiful. You can see that. And so the topic tonight is Linden Town Week, as you can see. Feature, one of the feature moment, one of the feature activities is the Linden All Black. And people from all over the world will travel to Guyana to be a part of the Linden All Black. We have at the Linden All Black Chanel Muir, Jamaican reggae artist Chanel Muir, and Massacre. And of course, you are listening to Chanel Muir here in this introductory song. And so I want to say it's all about Linden Town Week. It's all about Linden Town Week. Share this live. Tell your friends to tune in and let us take it from there. Let's go back to Chanel Muir. Black is beautiful. Tell your children that black is beautiful.
Whoa, 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 whoa. 'Cause when you're black is a big threat. Never seen nothing like this yet. Such a pretty brown skin. When you see my melanin, you better show some respect. They can't contain me, no. So they wanna come change me, no. It's a mental slavery, minimal bravery. Me not see the fix yet. So no, 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 I won't lower my standards. So watch me fight for what's mine, who I am proud of. Ooh, ooh, you won't be taking what's mine, I don't play by my culture. Ooh, out of many, one people all the same. Same color, blood flow through within. The strongest survive the human race. Only love will last along the way. Tell your children black is beautiful. To be alive is a whole lot of privilege. Education is the key to rule the world. You don't need to be white to be a pretty girl. Tell your children black is beautiful. How we now go beg for no privilege. Knowledge is the ruler of the world. You don't need to be white to be a pretty girl. When you're black, you is a big threat. Never seen nothing like this yet. Such a pretty brown skin. When you see my melanin, you better show some respect. They can't condemn me, no. So they wanna come change me, no. It's a mental slavery, minimal bravery. Me not see the fix yet. So no, 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 I won't lower my standards. So watch me fight for what's mine, who I am proud of. Ooh, ooh, you won't be taking what's mine, I don't play by my culture. Yeah. Tell your children black is beautiful. To be alive is a whole lot of privilege. Education is the key to rule the world. You don't need to be white to be a pretty girl. Tell your children black is beautiful. And we now go beg for no privilege. Knowledge is the ruler of the world. You don't need to be white to be a pretty girl. Black is beautiful.
Welcome to another edition of Voice of the Diaspora. My very special guests this evening are Sharma Solomon, Mayor of Linden, and Deputy Mayor Dominique Blair, who will be joining us subsequently. Sharma is no stranger to this program, and he is no stranger to the people of Linden, a revolutionary back in time, and a mayor, a former regional chairman, and someone who has not only Linden at heart, but Guyana as a whole. He is a Guyanese politician that will certainly go places regardless of the challenges he has faced over time. But of course, he will withstand the test of time and obviously triumph as we move along the course of Guyana's politics. We will be talking about Linden Town Week and also other issues affecting the municipality of Linden and Linden as a whole. I take this opportunity to welcome my illustrious and special guest, Sharma Rahim Solomon, Mayor of Linden. Sharma Solomon, welcome to Voice of the Diaspora. It is always a pleasure to have you on this program. You're no stranger to this program. The last time you were here, how was after you were arrested and detained at a police facility at Linden, and I hope there isn't a repeat of that this evening. Whenever we connect, I want to believe that the powers that be, they get very much afraid. But this evening, We will be talking about Linden Town Week and other issues affecting Linden, of course, in relation to the municipality. Welcome again to Voice of the Diaspora.
Thank you very much, Narmon. Thank you very much for having me on. Good evening, and it's afternoon in Guyana, so good afternoon to the Guyanese and good evening to our London audience. It's always a pleasure to be on the Voice of the Diaspora. And you're quite correct. I know we hadn't a good time to engage each other on so many things. There's so much that would have happened. And I know we are going to be talking about the Linden Town Week activities. And I'm glad that you're taking this opportunity to show such an interest in a very, very important exercise of the town. But I'm glad we are also going to take the opportunity to discuss some other matters. Linden is not without much excitement. Linden has always demonstrated that, we always have our hands on the pulse of the national politics and local politics of things affecting us. So I'm certain some of those will come out also. But thanks for having me on the show now.
And thank you for joining the program. Your illustrious presence is always welcomed. You have been a part of the history of Linden in many ways. You are no stranger to the people of Linden, Guyana, and the diaspora as a whole. And so I am elated to have you on this program this evening. Mr. Solomon, Mayor of Linden, 2024 Tongue Week, you said to the media, it was widely circulated that, good monies were made, millions of dollars and almost $500 million in profit and economic, prospects and so on. Tell us a little bit about that and what you expect in terms of the economic advantages and opportunities, and also the financial advantages and opportunities that we will have, that we will benefit in 2025. Go ahead.
So thanks again. I like this conversation because, earlier I saw your post, someone said, y'all only talking Tongue Week with so much important things around. Well, Tongue Week is important, and I'll give that. And I'm glad you're giving me the opportunity to do that. Because with this fifth council coming into the municipality, our agenda is really to highlight Linden as the heart of Guyana, which it is. Geographical, economical, wherever you put those sort of indicators, Linden has always proven to be the heart of Guyana. What we believe and what we have taken Tongue Week to do is that we have taken Tongue Week to be the vehicle to take us on that destination to promote Linden as the heart of Guyana, to showcase, to demonstrate, and to highlight where we promote and see Linden as the heart of Guyana. So our approach would have been in that ideological approach of ensuring that we have that theme. Our theme is, as we used last year, we are one people, one nation, one destiny. Linden, the heart of Guyana. And that is relevant to us too, because of at the time last year, we had the threat of Venezuela, and we see that that went nowhere. And also with some of the internal issues that we believe national unity and social cohesion is very absolutely necessary at this time. So that is why the theme took that sort of first aspect of our motto and the second aspect of where Linden really is and where we want to take Linden in terms of the heart of Guyana. Our measurables last year, in anything that you do, Narmon, when you want to research and you want to see how well you did. Back in the days, we say, we did enough people come to Linden. We want to change that. That is not a measurable. So using a qualitative approach to measure last year, we can say that Tongue Week 2024, based on that qualitative measurement, demonstrated to be the most attended and the most amplified when you can use the qualitative measurement. In terms of the events that we had, it was more. In terms of the magnitude of the events, it was more. in terms of the amount of the quality of events, it was indeed more. So on that qualitative side, in terms of the attendance, it was more. So we can say that in any other tongue week, the qualitative measurement showed to be more in terms of a measurement. But you also have the quantitative side of the measurement, which actually shows numbers and figures. And when we got into Council Narmon, the Linden Town Week account had $120,000. That is where we came and met Town Week. And looking back at the history of Town Week, the account of Town Week have never held as much money. Currently, 1 year after, this town council can boast that we have $11 million in the Town Week account. That's what we can boast. But that is not the only number relevant, Narma, because as we said, Town Week is the vehicle to move Linden on the path of promoting that which is the heart of Guyana. And in doing that, we always get the chance to promote the economic stimulating activities of the town. So we can see what those events and activities generated through our GRA review. We can see what those activities and what the sectors would have generated, whether those are the hospitality sector, whether it's the transportation sector, and so many areas. And we can see that this town of Linden, come April month 10 into May, is going to have a stimulating economic profile of over $500 million, as was demonstrated in 2024 Town Week. So I'm giving you just what we were able to identify in terms of the actual measurables using a qualitative, quantitative approach. But this year, what we want to do is ensure that we make that a more in-depth approach so that we don't have to come and explain as we are doing. People can actually see the generated amount and understand what this event means to the town of Linden, beyond just this mayor or anyone saying that. They can pick the profile up and see what is important about Linden Town Week. So we want to change that. But as we go to 2025 Town Week, and we are picking up from that success, what we recognize and in listening to the general public is that Town Week normally takes on a big wet and fet enough dance. Nothing wrong with that. There is also entertainment tourism, and we see Trinidad and Barbados and many countries that do quite well on entertainment tourism, Jamaica included. So nothing is wrong with the wetting and fetting and partying. But what we have done this year, and in collaboration with the Chamber of Commerce, in collaboration with Destination Guyana, a young lady named Stacey Molson, is that we have now included one of the biggest investment forum, which is expected to bring a few hundred investors from Miami, from overseas. We've already got the Watuka Club to match them with actual businesses in Linden, more so that they can get into the sectors principally of agriculture, construction, hospitality, and also trading. So that is a big component that we want to ensure is very amplified in Town Week 2025, so that we not only get the wetting and fetting in the entertainment side that brings entertainment tourism, but we want to also start to profile the economic opportunities that exist in this island gas economy, where the whole world seems to know Guyana, but more so Georgetown of Guyana. We want the world to start to see Linden and what those potential and possibilities of doing business in Linden hold. So that forum that is being organized through the tourism and through the Chamber of Commerce and by Destination Guyana is going to add that component to Linden Town Week 2025. We also want to bring back the regatta, both river and the Blue Lake Regatta. We hope to bring that back in a big way this year. We always know that Linden is one of the most watery communities in terms of its geography. And the Demerara River that is very featured in this community, we always believe when we did the Burnham Drive Fiesta in 2023, we always believe that the river, the Demerara River, must return to its profile of bringing those activities back in the days we had at the bandstand. So you're going to have the kayaking and you're going to have a regatta that is going to be featured in this year. But so many other things. We have 51 events, Narman. of activities to be held, but those are the standout this year that we want to incorporate to make sure that it is not just an activity to attract people for entertainment, wetting and fetting, but also an activity that attract people to see investment opportunities and business.
Sharma Rahim Solomon here, the mayor of Linden. We're talking about the 2025 Linden Tongue Week right here on Voice of the Diaspora. So many people are tuning in. I don't ask people, so many people are tuning in. I don't ask people to share the live normally, but I want you to share the live because Guyanese across the world, Lindeners especially in the diaspora, are interested in the Linden Town Week and what is there um, for them to be attracted to, what is on offer, for them to be compelled to travel home to be a part of it. You talk about, Mr. Mayor, you talk about qualitative and quantitative, stuff in relation to the tongue week. Would you give us a simple breakdown of the monies made, the profits, and so on, and at last year's tongue week 2024, and your vision of your perception of what will happen to better that at the
Mm.
2025 Linden Tongue Week?
Certainly. So we have broken down where we see the town week in terms of acquiring resources. And let me just say, this is a 30 plus year old activity. I want to say compliments to persons like Fredco and the late Abdul Kadir, the late Gillian Prasad, and so many persons who made this event and would have brought it to this point. So I think we can only see improvement, and this is what this council intends to do. So what we have done is that we have broken down the three areas of revenue generating or revenue generation for this activity, whether it comes from sponsors and donors, that's one. It comes from the actual street vending, where the council is distributing and allocating stalls and spots. And it comes from the franchising of the activities, whether it's those levy fees for the activities of those major fetting and wetting. What we got last year is a budget of $18 million. We set that in terms of what we intend to bring in. We got just about $11 million that we brought in, of which 6.5 will be profit, pure profit to the council. Again, remember where we picked on, we got from 120,000 in the account. And we're still to pay those expenses of maybe $4 million to our persons who have to collect their honorariums. Those would be council staff. We have service providers that we're still to pay from last year. And most of this is out of the deliberate and malicious behavior of the clerk that we are unable to settle those expenses
That's the tongue
and to be
clerk. That's the
remain,
tongue clerk, Lennox Gasper, you're talking about.
yes, and to remain with our pure profits of over $6 million. So what I want to say is thank you to those service providers, thank you to the coordinator, thank you to those people who we still have outstanding for that would have demonstrated significant patience, and more than significant patience, Narmon, a deep willingness and commitment to work and to serve Tongue Week 2025 in the interest of the people of Linden. So notwithstanding that, all of those people have agreed to come back in and to do work to ensure we have an even more successful 2025 Town Week for the people of Linden. So that is what we made. This year, what we did is that we have set the budget to just over $10 million, being a little more practical and real in what we made last year, so that anything additional we can then come that based on
Yes.
going out to get more additional sponsorship and more people to commit. What occurred last year, Norman, and I want the tongue of Linden to know this. You know, most people do, they pull their popcorn, they get their soda, they get a chair, and they go back and they watch this fight that is taking place. I guess because persons believe and know that at the end of most fights, or all the fights we've been in, they've seen tangibles, they've seen success, and they've seen results. But we must not take for granted the challenges that we have to overcome, and we have overcome to get to this point that we are, so that we can now have people who, though they're owed money, The challenge is, how do we get them back? We've gotten them back on the principle of goodwill. So those things notwithstanding, people are there to obstruct. And I want persons to know, whether it's at high authority, in the council itself, or even our residents. We see people sometimes making unnecessary claims that it is only to create disruption and confusion. We saw that a couple of weeks ago when we had the launching, for example, where people, instead of, back in the days, Norman, a luncheon used to be right in this office. It used to be the mayor, the deputy mayor, the town clerk. That was your luncheon. For the past 2 years, we have changed that. We've taken the luncheon and profiled it more in the open air at the I Love Linden sign with the Demerara River in the background at the cenotaph. We've made it a spectacle to the extent that people are trying to create confusion to say, why you didn't invite the man and this man. All the persons who had to be invited at the luncheon were invited. All the people who have to be at a launching. This is not an opening ceremony. This is a launching. Were invited at that launching. But we know persons who wanted to create confusion to make that an issue so that they can say, like they were trying to do, the Linden Town Council doesn't have a handle or an idea as to what it's doing. But we have demonstrated, as I just said to you, we've made more money than any other town week before in terms of being able to put that in the council account. It's there. Every cent is accounted for. Every cent, to the extent that we have not spent one dime, and we're waiting to spend that $4 million on the people who we still owe. So all the monies are there. And like we said, this year, we want to ensure on those 3 areas of revenue generating that we're going to do even better. We've set a modest budget, but we are certain that we're going to bring in more money for Town Week 2025. And
Sure.
let me just put this in,
Go ahead.
Armand.
Go ahead.
Like last year, we are not without our challenges. Like last year, and those come from those same 3 areas, whether up in IO official, whether internal to the council, or we have some very malicious people in the community who believe that they're undermining Sharma or this council. But I want you and Lindeners to know, in essence, what they're doing is undermining Linden when they behave in a certain way. Because it's not in the interest of Linden. And when you listen many times, for example, we had people who were promoting activities last year while the council is planning Town Week. People who are out there in the public who continue to speak on the interests of truth and right and justice were part of undermining Town Week. So I want you to know whether they, so it doesn't become restricted to the officials at the top or internal to the council. It is even some of those hypocrites who continue to say to Linden, you know, we are about Linden, but yet still undermining Linden at an event such as Linden Town Week when we have the opportunity to use it as a vehicle to push Linden as the heart of Guyana. So those things are still there, Narman, in terms of the challenges. But like I said last year, and we hope Lindeners don't pull the popcorn and the chair and the soda and spectate, because they know at the end of it, you know what, Sharma got this by. We can do far better, but we have to be alert of the threats above, internal, and those hypocrites that continue to behave as though they want to undermine the work of the people of Linden.
Well, you're being very vague, Mayor of Linden. When you talk about the challenges, you didn't specify the challenges, and you didn't specify who those hypocrites are. But let me welcome Deputy Mayor of Linden, Dominique Blair, to the program. Dominique is here with us, and I just want Dominique to say hello to the viewers who are tuning in before I ask you my next question, Sharma, and before we go to Dominique Blair. Deputy Mayor of Linden, Dominique Blair. Welcome. Dominic, I can't even hear you. Your microphone is muted.
All right, thank you. Sorry.
Go ahead.
All right, good afternoon, Norman. Good afternoon. I see the mayor is on. Good afternoon to your listening, your audience, your viewership. I've just spoken to the show, but I'm certain the mayor has spoken exclusively the matters related to the council. Um,
No, we are on
I'm here.
Linden Town Week at the moment. We haven't gotten to the council yet. So I'm glad you have come in so that we can get to the part of the council in a bit. But we're talking about Linden Town Week exclusively.
I
Dominic
shall
Dominic
assist you.
Blair Dominic Blair
Go
here
ahead.
on Voice of the Diaspora. He's introducing himself. But let me go straight to Sharma, the mayor of Linden. Sharma, look, I want you to list the events, but my question to you, the 2025 Town Week events, I would like you to list them. But the question I have for you is an observation as I was doing my research. I know it's called Linden Town Week, but if my research is accurate, it's 11 days of activities for the Town Week. I know 7 days makes up a week. 7 days make up a week. But I have calculated 11 days of activities. Is that tongue week?
So let me say this. The council is doing quite well because when we came in, it was 16 days that was called a week. We've broken that down. In fact, you see in 11, it's really 10 days. We made a mistake. It should be from the 25th to the 5th. So it's 10 days. And our every intention is to break it down further. As I said before, I'll give you the activities for 2025. We had 51 activities for 2024. But like I said, this council, we came in and we met Tongue Week at a 16 days of planning and activities. We met Tongue Week with over 71 events being done. So in essence, what we've done, we have broken that down and we have further broken the activities down. And as we move ahead and continue to progress, we will know how to do that. Because as we look into the activities and the events themselves, some of the things can be consolidated, some of the days can be consolidated. Again, it comes with planning, it comes with understanding what persons in the town would like to do. At the end of the day, we want to incorporate as much what we can call reflection of the cultural, social heritage of the tongue in the activity tongue week. So whether it's culinary competition, we need that. We need to showcase the flavor, the taste of Linden. Last year, Teacher Camille and Lulu and the ladies from Women on a Mission did quite well in terms of coming in first. We had some young people. So we also had the activity of the agri, the farmers market. So those things, the bird whistling competition, for those who know Linden and the Upper Berbice River and the Upper Demerara River would know some of the best and most expensive birds, including bird watching, comes from this community, comes from Linden. So those things, even though it may be a very extended calendar then, we have started to condense and consolidate some of the events. However, a lot of the events we would want to keep them because it's a true reflection of the heritage and what Linden stands for. Whether it's the excursion to the Demerara River, whether it's the bauxite mining tour to Bosai, whether it's the hiking of the nature walk so you can see the bauxite sites, all of those things carry their own audience and their own crowd that so far, when people don't see them, for example, I saw someone saying today they have not seen the Business Expo. Now, the Business Expo has been incorporated to some extent into the investment forum so that it takes place at one local. So those things, of course, I know you said it's a week. A week is 7 days, and you're seeing 10 days in essence what it is,
But
3 extra
I am
days.
seeing 11 days, and the question I'm asking
But
you,
like I
sorry to
said,
cut you,
the
sorry,
mistake is this. Yeah, the mistake
I'm
is this.
sorry to cut you, but what I'm asking you is should if you are saying to the people of Linden that this is a town week and people look up to leadership, people I don't know what is happening to the broadcast. I honestly people look up to leadership, and if you're saying it's tongue week and you have 11 days of activities, shouldn't you say to the people that this is a Linden Tongue celebration? You are the mayor of the fifth council in the 55th year of Linden's birthday. and we need accuracy. So if you are saying that we are celebrating Linden Town Week 2025 and it's 11 days of activities, shouldn't you, in your guidance of leadership, say this is not Linden Town Week, but it's a Linden celebration until you break it down to 7 days?
Well, you know, Narman, we listen. So you're making a point, but I just made the point of it was 16 and we're breaking it down, and by next year we'll get to your number, which is accurate of 7 days. Now, do we want to take it to 7 days, or do we want to ensure it is able to express the activities? We'll take that into consideration because 51 or 71 events will not be able to be condensed into 7 days.
Then it
All
shouldn't be
right.
called
And some
Town
of
Week.
those, well, certainly. So that is something we'll have to look at because that becomes, and let me just say this for this council, and I'm glad we'll come to some of the concerns and challenges. We have not had the opportunity to modify in any significant way through policy changes tongue week. All right? Because our intention as we start to put these other aspects of an investment forum and we start to look at how we measure tongue week in a more definitive way, I think what we have recognized is that we have not made the sort of policy adjustments. We have adopted the Tongue Week 2023 report, of which we used to guide us in 2024, and it is the Tongue Week 2024 report that will guide us in 2025. But we have not had the sort of consultative, inclusionary, participatory approach to ensuring, just as you said, what did Narmon said? What did this Linden said? What did this sector said? What did this group of people said? What did the churches said? What did the trade unions say? Because, for example, the trade unions are not too excited that we're keeping massive events on the 1st of May when the workers are out in their numbers or should be out in their numbers on the streets in line with the labor solidarity march. So those things we came and we met, and those things we want to ensure that we listen to our stakeholdership, including people like yourself, with suggestions as what you just made.
Sharma Solomon here on Voices Us. I don't know
And
what
let
is
me just go.
happening.
You
I,
asked me about the
I,
calendar 2025. You still want me to go through that?
yeah, I want you, but I don't know. This is the first time this is happening. It seems like we have been bounced off of Facebook and we are only on YouTube. It has never happened before. I don't know if the powers that be are interfering with this program, but I can't see it on Facebook anymore. We were live on Facebook, and this has never happened on this program. So I would urge viewers to go to YouTube. This is not something that I've experienced. Sharma, I would like you to go to that point briefly before I bring in Dominic.
So the activities that we have, the first day, we have the pageant, and we keep the pageant so that we can have the queen who is able to attend all things of Tongue Week. Then we have the Tongue Council is going to have a project in line with one of the fundraisers for us. It's called Jumpstart. We have dramatic poetry, secondary school, essay writing, primary school, debate competition, primary school, Board of Industrial Training. That's our job and career fair exhibition. That's the first day, Friday. All of that is the first day. The second day on Saturday, we have the UDFA East versus West football up at the Wisburg School. We have the Linden Local Talent Concert hosted by Norris King and Company. And this is reflecting on all local artists around Guyana. It's going to be a concert for them. And then we have open air boxing on one of the car parks, which will be the Georgetown Park. And then on Sunday, we have the church service on the morning at the park. This is normally Pastor Sills and Company. Last year, it was very well attended. The opening ceremony is in the evening, and we intend to invite everyone. Last year, we invite the Prime Minister and the government of Guyana. We hope to have their presence this year. Back in time, this is a concept party that is with the 80s, 90s. We have brunch, wine, and soca, bird whistling competition, and domino competition. All that's on the Sunday. On the Monday, which is the gospel concert. That's going to be with Samuel Madas and a Trinidadian artist. That's going to be a big international concert. We have the business forum, which is at Watuka Guest House. The career fair, another career fair at the trade school at the um, Lyshus. And let me just say, we're emphasizing a lot on our youths. If you notice, a lot of career fair, a lot of those companies that are doing quite well in Guyana. We had Reunion Goal is going to be up in Linden next week to do another career fair. So we really want our young people not only to go after jobs, but we want them to be able to train as we've encouraged those companies to continue to invest into our community. On the Tuesday, the 29th, we have the Spelling Bee by Linden Fund. Again, the International Business Forum, which is a 2-day exercise. We have the culinary competition, which is at Egbert Benjamin Center. We have the Torch Run, which is celebrating the 55th anniversary of the tongue. Torch is to run for that. We have another program called the Sip and Vibe. On Wednesday, we have the karaoke competition finals, and this is a competition that is being played around the tongue as we speak in all of the different areas. We have the basketball East versus West, and that's going to be a big tournament that's being held by Gary Stevens and some people from out in New York. Then we have the Big People Party that is hosted by Mr. Garden Mosley. Pool Party, which is going to be up at the Watuka Club. And on Tuesday, the 1st, we're going to have the regatta, the river regatta, and the general back to school, which we had last year as a new concept. It's going to be this year, but this year is going to be the primary school edition. And then we have the senior citizen luncheon. This is where the council entertains our seniors on the 2nd of May. We're going to have almost 200 to 300 seniors where we give them hampers and we fed them and we take care of them and we, let them know how much we really care and love them. On Wednesday, we have the Wisma night. Everything about Tongue Week is going to be over at Wisma on that day. Wisma night on Friday. We're going to have the Reggae on the River with Ralo and the Irates Band. We're going to have the Agri Day on that day also in front of the Wisma Market. And that was very good last year with the Farmers Association. And then we're going to have the Color Party, which is normally done at the Christianburg end. I saw this year they're going to be having a pink and blue party. And then the third, which is the Saturday, we're going to have the Regional All Black. And let me just say on these two events of the Color Party and the All Black, these were the only two events this year we had more than one person applying for them. And we went through a process to establish how we arrived at the individuals who actually are going to be hosting the event. On Saturday also, we have a children's zone. We have barbecue along the road. That's on Saturday. And then on Sunday, we have the big main line. We have the kayaking competition up at Watuka Club, and that was very well attended last year, the kayaking. And for those who know, Linden is the birthplace of kayaking. Linden is one of the most established community, and this is going to be an inter-schools kayaking competition. Then we have the Denim and White. And on Monday, we have the International Washdown hosted by the Sheriff and the flyover of the Town of Linden. And at this washdown, we're going to ensure that we have a regatta. So that's why we're trying to ensure that we work with the promoters. We are speaking with the Bartica Regatta Committee because we know in April of the Easter weekend is Bartica Regatta. I've spoken with all of the competitors over the past week. I've spoken with them, and we're trying to get them not only for the River Regatta in Linden, but for the Blue Lake, the washdown too also be a regatta. And that is the end of our 10 days of activities.
Sharma Solomon, dear Mayor of Linden, talking about the Linden Town Week. Dominique Blair, Deputy Mayor of Linden. When you look at the Town Week, many people have said to me that it is very centralized, that it would profit the people of Linden more if activities are held in different areas such as Amelia's Ward, Wiz Rock, Campbell City, so that people can benefit economically in their own areas instead of everything being centralized in one area. What are your thoughts about that, Deputy Mayor?
Well, I mean, as as I mean you are border.
Deputy Mayor, you're breaking up. I don't think we have good audio
And
from you. Gentlemen, we have been bumped off to Facebook. I will have to discontinue this live and I'll ask you to call in back right away so we can reconnect to Facebook. You have to call in back right away because our viewers are on Facebook are not accessing this. It's on YouTube. People are watching on YouTube. It's never happened before. I think that the powers that be are doing something to interfere. So I'm going to sign you out and you call back in immediately so that we can reconnect to Facebook. So sorry about that.